All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. So I think it's time for Kiss to pull the plug on their end of the road tour. It's too risky. How you cannot guarantee anyone's safety at these concerts because obviously Paul Stanley, who went out and did the thing, all right, has now tested positive for the other thing. And they're canceling a gig in Pittsburgh because of it. And really, folks, based on that, how can you move forward and guarantee everyone's safety at future events? You just can't. We're moving into a very dark period of the year, too, where there's a good chance that there are going to be more cases, and things are just not going to go well. They call those breakthroughs, right? So if you have a breakthrough, which, by the way, again, a little bit of logic here, what good is doing any of this stuff? And I know I've already talked about, mitigating how much worse it could get, right? Because that's their last stand. That's the goalpost down at the 1 yard line, right? Because they keep moving them. All right. And I'm thinking to myself, no, there's no guarantee. There was an article that I think I referenced from Boston, WHDH TV, that said 80 people are no longer with us. And they did pretty much everything you can do, except, get hermetically sealed. And by the way, this is a huge tragedy. I'm not making light of this. This is horrible. And based on the logic of what's being presented by Kiss and the Eagles and any big tour right now, it's not safe. And by the way, they've helped create the level of fear, which makes this even more of a risky event. Because are people going to feel really good about doing this, knowing that going to a concert could risk their health and safety? I mean, seriously, because this is the narrative. And again, you're running out of room. There's nowhere else for you to go with this narrative saying that, well, just bring your QR code and, everything will be great. And the other reason I think Kiss should stop this tour is because people know, for the most part, that they're not getting live Kiss. They're getting Kiss somewhat live with a lot of supplementation, with a lot of help from technology, all right? And nobody's really denying that, although, if you had a press conference, they would probably deny it. But guys like Eddie Trunk, he's covered this for like years now, where he just knows these guys are using a backing track. If you step away from the microphone, right, and you can still hear the vocals, then something is up. And this happens quite a bit now with older bands. You think, hey, they're performing live. No, they're doing a really good acting job. Kiss, by the way, are professionals. They know how to do that kind of acting job. Now, I've said before that, hey, it's a free country, it's a free world. If you want the Kiss experience, right, and you're not that concerned about the actual music, then by all means, spend the money. But, risking your life, right? You're risking your life, taking your life into your own hands, because I hear this all the time from people who align with Paul Stanley on all these health issues. It's too risky. And you don't know. One of those people out there may have acquired their paperwork in, a way that was not above board. You just don't know. I mean, are we checking the paperwork to see if it's valid? Now, I know if you have the code on your phone, you're basically hooked up to the mothership at that point, and they know everything about you. And, nobody really cares. And even though that's kind of an issue, you would think, with most Americans and most people who enjoy their freedom and like their privacy and kind of believe in the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, well, open that window, because guess what? It just went out. Look, I'm calling for Kiss to end this. It's too risky. Their fans have been fed this line that, you can't function in society now without doing all these different things. And based on what happened to Paul Stanley, it appears that none of those things matter because the concert might still get canceled. It's too risky. I mean, bands are canceling concerts left and right. Some are pretending that it's not a big deal, but I know what they're thinking in the back of their mind. Now, of course, there's liability here. I always say, when push comes to shove, the legal issues are probably hanging over everything. And the venue probably told Kiss, look, you could send in the Paul Stanley double. Paul could even get up there because he's probably asymptomatic, right? He could get up there, and be in a full hermetically sealed thing. And if something happens, guess what? The venue probably gets tagged with a lawsuit. So in any event, to avoid the lawsuits, because this is where we're at right now, to avoid all of the headaches, to avoid the music being somewhat real, but kind of not, I think it's time for Kiss to pull the plug on the End of the Road tour. And just, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, they're great commentators. I really enjoy their stuff on Twitter. And I think at that point, they should just be full-time political commentators and health experts, because that's really where their area of expertise lies currently. It's not in the music. The music is kind of like an afterthought. They're just acting in a play at this point, and I would rather hear their opinions because they're so enlightening. So in any event, that's my video on that. I feel bad for all the fans that bought tickets and are thinking this could be the last time I'll ever see this band. Well, they've done farewell tours before. They've prepared people for the end, and maybe the end should have been last year, but I don't know. These guys, we'll see if they take my advice.